What would be the all-time peak of video games during the 90s? Some would argue that the 4th generation of consoles with the Super Nintendo or the Sega Genesis, with its library of amazing games like Super Mario World or Sonic the Hedgehog, all fantastic genre-defining games. To me though, that honor has to go to the 5th generation of consoles, the Nintendo 64, the PlayStation 1, and the Sega Dreamcast. This generation also happens to be the rise of the first-person shooter. While first-person shooters were around during the 4th generation, albeit in very limited quantities, the genre didn't really explode until the mid-90s. Suddenly, you had your Quakes, your Half-Lives, your Unreals. It was a renaissance of first-person action games, and one of the folks who decided to throw their hat into the FPS ring was none other than the legends themselves, Rare. And who else to bring along into this FPS genre than the Chad himself, James Bond. GoldenEye 007 has got to be one of the best Nintendo 64 games of all time. Words cannot describe how much fun this game was back in the day. Hell, this is one of the video games that made me buy an N64. The campaign was fun and engaging, and when you had 3 of your buddies, 4-way split screen was just some of the most funnest and best times you'll ever have. The stream of 007 games continued all throughout the 2000s under different management. Some good and some not so much. Nothing was really able to catch the peak of 007 games like GoldenEye. Not even its near complete remake from 2007, which was inevitably cancelled, could save the good name of James Bond. And with the 007 video game IP remaining dormant, it'll be up to the fans to rebuild that magic it once had. Some fans have took it upon themselves to port the multiplayer of GoldenEye over to Valve's Source engine, while others went above and beyond to make a full-on spiritual successor of GoldenEye, down to its polygonal art style, and it even feels nostalgic. You can even apply a CRTV filter for added member berries. Ladies and gentlemen, Agent 64, Spies Never Die. This is literally a love letter to those early 007 games, specifically GoldenEye. The shooting mechanics feel smooth and responsive, the level layouts look like they were made with love and care, and this is just a demo. Seriously, I cannot wait to sink my teeth into the full game. I played through that same level not once, not twice, but 3 times, and I've had so much fun playing it. Each time with a different difficulty setting, which not only adds new objectives, depending on the difficulty level that you choose, but the enemies become more self-aware and borderline deadly, requiring you to remember their positions before entering an area as to not get anally raped by 3 dudes from a room you didn't check. You will also be tasked with freeing hostages and disarming bombs scattered throughout the level. Some of these hostages will help you get into the next area, so don't be an asshole and end up killing them. The graphical art style just screams out GoldenEye. Even with the way the player moves his gun, it harkens back to that old movement style. Although, thankfully this time around the game controls much better than the N64 classic. I love games like this. Games that give people that nostalgic trip to seemingly a better time. There seems to be a resurgence of games that are heavily inspired by older titles, particularly from the 90s, and I'm all for it, you know? The folks over at New Blood Interactive are looking to build a catalog for all these retro-styled games, starting with these so-called boomer shooters that pay homage to games like Doom and Quake. They're also working on their own car combat game akin to Twisted Metal and Vigilante 8. Us 90s game fans are eating good. If you guys have any interest in playing this game, Agent 64, they do have a demo of the beta on Steam. You can go ahead and download it right now and play the first level. I'm telling you, just play it. You'll have a blast. I highly recommend it. Anyways, y'all, that's it for this video. If you made it to the end, thanks a ton for watching all the way through. You're a true G and you get tons of bitches. Alright, later. Zoom in on that. It's like Jackass.
Ew.
Are you good? No, bro, get the camera off me, bro.
Aww.